Hello, Ishmael.
Good morning.
Hello. Yeah, good morning for you. It's good afternoon for us.
Oh, good afternoon.
Where are you?
California.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today then. And thank you to anyone that's watching this today. I'll just say that. Yeah, got loads of questions. Like my friend Sharon, she's been talking about you such a lot. So you've only come to my awareness actually in the last few weeks, couple of weeks actually. And she was on about the DNA strands, which was really interesting that you know about the DNA strands. So I've been starting to watch a few of your videos, and so you're so knowledgeable. I've got tons of questions here. Are you all right to go straight into questions, or would you like to give a bit of background about yourself? And I'm sure a lot of people watching, because when I put a poster out to say that you were coming on, there was an awful lot of interest. Really pleased that you were going to be speaking with me. So should we just have a little bit of background?
Sure.
Thank you.
No problem. My name is Ishmael Perez. I'm the author of Our Cosmic Origin, a book that I released exactly 9 months ago, revealing not only the galactic history of the Earth, but the cosmic organization of universes, and really just integrating it with ancient metaphysical knowledge and backed by cutting-edge science through quantum physics, explaining a whole new different level of our reality. And I consider myself an ambassador, a cosmic ambassador to the Earth, working on a project here to restore the planet back to her original pristine glory and back into the galactic community as prophesied.
That's perfect. Wonderful. Absolutely. The things I've listened to from you, I mean, your knowledge is unbelievable. So yeah, well, as I say, it was about the DNA strands that got my attention. So are we all right to start there? I know you've probably spoken about it loads to different people, but you know, there will be other people that are watching this that have not seen that. Just the fact that you say that we've only got 2 DNA strands active at the moment, but the other 10 are going to be coming online.
Absolutely.
Could you speak to that a bit?
Sure. So what's happening right now is that our DNA is being activated by our sun, the gamma photonic ray energy that is coming in, that is actually streaming from our galactic core via our sun, and it's communicating with our DNA at a cellular level. So our sun, because it's a sentient conscious entity, just like we live in a conscious universe and everything is alive, from atoms to elements to planets to galaxies to cosmos, our sun is orchestrating. In fact, the entire universe is orchestrating the upgrade of our DNA right now as I speak. So for a while now, since we've been, since our solar system has been once again within the region of what is known as the photon belt, you know, massive upgrades have been taking place where different sequential codons are coming online, and I believe that some of us have already assembled the 3rd and 4th strand of DNA, as to why we are becoming very, very in tune, very psychic, and very aware of things, to the point where, you know, the 3rd dimensional world and the low frequencies that are associated with the 3rd dimensional reality isn't affecting us anymore. It's only affecting those that are still operating with 2 strands of DNA. So as I speak right now, the other 10 strands that have been disconnected since the times of Atlantis are actually rebundling. So instead of a 2-strand DNA, we're going to have up to 12 as we, you know, complete the upgrade pretty soon.
So we're not having to wait for that solar flash that you talk about to start that process. It's already starting, you're saying?
Oh yeah, it's been happening since 1987, which was marked by the harmonic convergence, which was when astronomers and scientists, metaphysical scientists, realized that you know, our solar system is realigning with the galactic core once again, as it does every with the central sun, known as Alcyone, as it does every 26,000 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that I've heard about the 26,000 year thing, and that's just, we're right at the precipice of that sort of thing, going into the new Atlantean era. Is that right? Yeah,
that's right.
Amazing. So what would that look like for us? Like, so would we be able to for instance, any pets that have passed, or, well, anyone that's passed, would we be able to communicate everyone if we wanted to? Do you have to work at that? Or do you just trust that that is happening for the majority of people?
Yeah, the only people that are not going to make the ship are the wicked. So yeah, only the people that are associated with the Kvel are the ones that are going to be bursting at the solar flash. So the pets, animals, insects, everything's being upgraded. So yes, we're going to have our pets there, and then those loved ones that have passed are actually already waiting for us in the new Earth with new bodies. So, but our bodies are just going to be transformed. Our physical vessels are going to regress to what we look like when we were 30. So you're going to look 30, and you're going to also not have any illnesses, perfect health. You're going to be very clairvoyant, very telepathic, and that's part of having 12 strands activated, is that we are going to be how we were during the times of Atlantis before our fall from full consciousness into limited consciousness. Yeah.
Because we have been in limited consciousness for a very long time, but that's all been orchestrated, hasn't it?
Yes, that was orchestrated by the negative Anunnaki that took over, that were working in alignment with the Draco-Orion Empire to keep us very suppressed, yes.
Because I went to a thing in Birmingham a few weeks ago. You must have heard, I'm sure, of Charlie Ward.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
It was a thing that he put on, and Simon Parkes did a talk, and he showed a picture of what slaves look like, what we associate with slaves looking like. But in actual fact, where we're having to work 9 to 5 or longer on minimum wage, or, things like that, that is the current way that you'd look at slavery in a way. When mothers have to leave their children to go and work when they really don't want to, that is, that's it. But we believe that's the way it should be, because that's the way we've been brought up to believe. But we'll fall in line with this. We'll understand this limiting belief that we've always had sort of from birth, because I've certainly got it, limiting beliefs that I'm more aware of now, but certainly still got. I'll understand more and be able to realize that that's not the way it's got to be.
Yes. More people are breaking free from their programming every day. Yeah.
Exactly, because it is complete programming. Yeah. Oh, that sounds wonderful. And you say that's imminently.
Oh yes, yeah. It's been prophesied about. They call it the Great Awakening, and that's what's happening right now. And it really started taking off in 2016. That's when, there was a huge increase of just people from all over the world waking up to the truth of our reality.
Well, when anything happens, like if there's a march in London, peaceful protest or whatever, and people go along, there is literally over 1 million people. And if you hear anything about it, they'll say there was, a few thousand. But there's actually, nearly always over 1 million at least people there. But it's not on the media. It's not,
Oh yeah, they're not going to advertise that on the media.
Absolutely, yeah. So, is the solar flash that you speak about, that is going to happen, you think, quite soon?
Yes, very, very, very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens this summer, just because of the fact that the CMEs that are coming in from the sun are increasing like never before. This is unprecedented solar flares that have been coming in, which haven't happened like at this level of incoming gamma rays. It hasn't happened for almost 12,000 years. So I would say that yeah, definitely, just be ready. Stay grounded. Stay in your power. Don't give your power away to anybody. You are sovereign unto yourself. And allow these upgrades to take place, because when that final release takes place, you're going to be transformed into a beautiful butterfly.
That is brilliant. I mean, it just sounds amazing, but that's what we're looking towards. Diana Cooper, the angel lady, she talks about the new golden era, but she's looking at 2032 and has mentioned 2032 for a very long time. But others have talked about 2028. But, more and more saying it's very imminent. Yeah, this new golden era that we're all. So we go to a stand in the park. Have you heard of a stand in the park?
No.
It's all over the world. It was started in Australia, and every Sunday morning, there's so many parks in England, but in all over the world for definite, where we all go along, like-minded people, and we meet in this particular place, and it's an uplifting, of consciousness, I'd say, because we're all on the same page as to what we want our new world to be like, where we're self-sufficient, where we're growing our own food. Is that the sort of future you're seeing?
Yes. We're going back to growing our own food, being organic and stuff. But at the same time, in the fourth dimensional Earth reality, we're going to have replicators. We're going to have advanced technologies that are going to be able to give us anything we want on the spot.
So when people talk about med beds, I mean, you hear a lot about med beds, but we're not having to wait for med beds. Are you saying that when that solar flash happens, illness will be gone?
No. The med beds are going to be useful in the fourth dimensional Earth. See, the Earth is going into fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions, not just the fifth. We can't skip the fourth. Depending on your level of awareness and your level of vibration, that determines the dimensional Earth that you're going to end up in. So for, like, say, the star seeds and the light warriors that are the volunteers that came to this Earth, they're going to go directly into the fifth and above. Some are going into the sixth. As far as like the newbie souls, the Earth Terrans, those that started their evolution from the mineral kingdom to the plant to the animal and so on and so forth, they're going to keep going up in increments. So that for the most part, they're going to be going into the fourth dimension. And eventually, hopefully in 1,000 years, they'll be able to go into the fifth dimension. But at least for 1,000 years, we're going to be using med beds, advanced interstellar technology, replicators, hover cars. We're going to be like a Star Trek society for those that are existing in the fourth dimension. Of course, those that go into the fifth or higher is going to be totally different. They're going to be the technology. Instead of having external technology, they're going to be using so much potential to the point, or genetic material to the point where they're going to be manifesting things with their own mind. They're going to be like replicators themselves.
But that must be the sort of, you must already be pretty much on that level. I don't know, fifth or sixth, would you say, with what you know, with your knowledge, or not?
I tend to resonate with the 13th dimension.
Oh, 13th.
Yeah. 13th.
Amazing. I mean, that's it. There's a limiting thought, because you said sixth. I mean, we've been talking about fifth for the longest time, fifth dimension. I always thought like fourth was where you're on the bridge between, so you can still see the third dimension and how everything is being played out in a 3D, greed level, whereas you can now see the 5D, and we're sort of getting across it into the 5D. I thought we were sort of on the bridge at the moment, because we can see what we want it to be. We know what it has been, and we're moving into that fifth dimension. But you say now the 13th dimension. So again, there was a limiting belief, of the fifth.
Yes, exactly. We're actually going to be moving into a multi-dimensional reality where a good number of us are going to be in the fifth, a smaller portion of us are going to be in the sixth, and even a smaller portion of the six are going to be going to the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we're going to be operating on 12 different dimensions. There's going to be I think there's going to be up to 4 parallel Earths. I think 5. I'm sorry. This one's going to be restored, which is going to be known as Urantia. And then we're also going to have Terra, which is going to be Earth existing in dimensions 4, 5, and 6. We're also going to have Gaia, which is going to be Earth existing in dimensions 7, 8, and 9. We're also going to have Armatena, which is Earth existing in dimensions 10, 11, and 12. And then those that ascend all the way to the highest levels of reality, which are related to the central universe, the motherverse, they're going to be living in Sophia. That's going to be the highest version of Earth, existing in dimensions 13 to 14 and 15. Yeah.
I mean, you can't even imagine. That's like looking back at when television first started, how old-fashioned that looks. You're really thinking about those sort of dimensions. I mean, for the highest dimension that you could be, it's amazing that you can even talk with me. Do you know that I can see you? Do you know what I mean? If you're
Oh yeah, well, even though we exist here, it's just a portion of our consciousness that was downloaded into these bodies, so that
right,
we could function within the third dimensional realm.
right.
But the other 97% of our consciousness is operating with different avatars on different realities or dimensions, all the way up to the 12. Well, some of us are operating to, all the way up to 13, 14, and 15. But for the majority of the star seeds, some of them are operating all the way to 12. That's why they're called the Elohim, the return of the Elohim. Because
So
they're
if you're
operating frequencies. Mhm.
so if you're speaking with someone, can you tell if they're a starseed?
Absolutely. Yeah. They have a particular energy signature.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They have a more of a indigo purplish. Some of them have a white light, which means that they're crystalline, and those are the Christed races. And then some of them, for the most part, most star seeds vibrate at a indigo and violet color, and everyone else on the planet is vibrating or gives off the yellowish orange aura, while the star seeds give off the violet and the indigo aura. That's the difference between the star seed and the regular Earth Terran.
Oh, that was another question I got, because like you got the crystal children, the rainbow children, the indigo children. All that they're saying all those, and I don't know what the difference of those are, but they're all coming through and have been coming through for quite a while now, haven't they? But they've all got a specific job, a role. We think we're so small here, but we've got such a big role to play if we could only but see our greatness.
Mm-hmm.
But because I don't know if it was you that said we're the royalty from the DNA that we've been made from. The very fact that we're here.
Yes, we're considered galactic and cosmic royalty, because we're the completion of of an intergalactic genetic experiment where many universes contributed their DNA to make us, which is awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. We weren't Neanderthals then.
Oh no, that's just one of the biggest lies in order to keep us in this slave system where we have masters and slaves but that's part of the old guard. That's part of the old programming. So but their time is up.
Marvelous. God, so. How will the ascension process affect our chakras?
Well, the chakras are symbolically are in the Book of Revelation. They're known as the seven seals. So the chakras are going to be opening up. Right now, our chakras are functioning at 4% light quotient. When the ascension takes place, and as we assemble the other 10 strands of our DNA, our chakras are going to be processing information at 100%. So in a sense, they're going to be spinning like never before, which is going to allow us to exist in multiple dimensions all at the same time, because each chakra is a level of consciousness. Right now, the majority, the collective of humanity, is mostly operating from the yellow chakra. From the yellow chakra. Collectively, we're going to be moving up into the green chakra, which is symbolic to the fourth dimension. And then, of course, the star seeds, the indigos, and the crystal children are be going into the fifth chakra, sixth and seventh, which is symbolized by higher states or levels of awareness. So each chakra represents a state of consciousness. Yeah.
So when we say we want to access our higher self to get the answers that we need, because we can access our higher self if we believe we can, and if you meditate and go into, so to say you go to your higher self, apparently there's 7 planes of existence, where you're saying even more actually, but we exist on each of those in a different way. So to say we access our higher consciousness, is that to go to the 7th, to the highest one of ourselves to get the answers?
Well, there's up to, I guess, 12 levels or now 13 levels of consciousness, because we are assembling a 13 chakra and a 13 strand of DNA. So, I believe that as long as we're able to access our 5th dimensional consciousness, we're at a higher level of consciousness. Some of us are able to access even greater levels of consciousness beyond the 5th dimension. But yeah, there's versions of us that exist all the way up until the 7th, 8th, 9th, or even 12th dimension. And those versions are the ones that have the superpowers. Those are the ones that have these amazing abilities. So imagine if we could integrate that or collapse that into this form That would be awesome. We would be literally operating on many dimensions, accessing full awareness of things. And that's where we're heading, for the most part.
So for new babies coming through, new children coming through, they already know they're coming into this time and will be switched on to what's ahead for them. Like they'll be able to, it's where we have the amnesia and we've forgotten, like I'm getting on now, really, in these years. So I've only recently woken up to all of this that's going on, in the last 5 years, say. So it won't take them anywhere near as long they won't have to go through this process of, I don't like to say slavery, but it has been a type of slavery, hasn't it? They won't be caught in that limiting slavery type way.
No, not at all. These kids are already being born advanced. Yes. So as the shift takes place, hopefully before 2024, as some say before 2028, but no later than 2030, right? These kids are going to be entering a beautiful earth, a beautiful future they have ahead of them.
Oh God, that's wonderful. So will it cure those that took the concoction, the solar flash?
Oh yes. If they're not wicked, all the poison in their body will be nullified and eliminated, as if they never got it. Oh. So they will still be able to ascend. Just because you were coerced or forced into taking
exactly
that does not mean you're not going to make the ascension.
Oh gosh, that's lovely. What's the difference between Satan and Lucifer?
Well, they're same consciousness, different level of reality. Lucifer was a fallen 12-dimensional consciousness. Satan is his, I believe, 6-dimensional version of him. So they're one and the same. Some people say, Satan is his child, just like when we think of God and Michael. Michael is the son of God, right? Michael the archangel is the same thing. It's different levels of reality, same consciousness.
But like when we lose our way on earth, it could be because of our upbringing for many different reasons. And what they need is love and understanding. Is that something that, with Satan and Lucifer, is that something that we're all a consciousness? Can we send love and understanding, or not really there?
We tried in the past, but it didn't work. They're actually, the dark side plays a very pivotal role in the overall expansion of the cosmos. So in a way, from the highest level of reality, good and evil, or what we call duality, is orchestrated by the highest good. Of course, at the end, evil is always on the losing end, but it's used for a purpose, and that is for the overall expansion of consciousness, so that things don't become stagnant.
Well, that's true, because when something bad happens, it does flick you into looking for the good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it acts as a catalyst for further growth,
So there was definitely fallen angels then. There you can get fallen. Yeah.
Yeah. They're known as the Draco reptilians. Those are the children of Lucifer.
Oh, okay. We went to Glastonbury the other day. You ever been to Glastonbury?
I've never been to Europe at all.
Oh, well, haven't you?
Lifetime, but I'm sure in other lifetimes I had lives in Europe.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. We went to Glastonbury the other day, and a girl there, she for some reason bought a statue of Lucifer. And then I opened it, and it made such a bang as I broke the sellotape. And then they said, well, anyway, it was just a little laugh. Hopefully. Well, do we go through all this again to take, or have to take some kind of exam? Do we have to go through all of this again, or take a type of exam? Does that make sense to you? That was what someone asked me. So to go all through what we're going through now, like if we reincarnate, we wouldn't have to go through. We've reincarnated that many times, and we've had to play different roles to get to the point we are now. Do you see what I mean?
Yes. Well, we are in our final incarnation. So if you don't learn your lessons now, you will reincarnate in another third dimensional Earth that is also going through a dark period, as we have for the last few thousand years. We're just now getting out of that dark period. So I would say that, yeah, if people don't, wait, you know what? I'm sorry. Yes, I think, my bad. Okay, so those that aren't doing the spiritual work, but are not necessarily wicked, are still going to the fourth dimensional earth. Yeah, because we are in our last incarnation. This is the body that we're going to take with us as we integrate it with our spirit and other aspects of ourselves. You know, this is the form that we're going to take when we want to pop into reality as a physical being. This is the final form that we're going to take. This form is the form that's going to become immortal because it's the final incarnation.
Because as long as we're heart-based, everything's from the heart now, isn't it? Like go through the heart math, meditations and that. It really is to really come into your heart and understand, ask your heart through anything that you're thinking about, really. And I don't know, have you heard of Ho'oponopono?
No.
Oh, well, that's Joe Vitale, but he does Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you and thank you, which covers everything. It's just to clear old rubbish from the old tapes that are replaying all the time. It just brings you to a zero limit point where you can just live from inspiration. Yeah, I think it helps. It helps me anyway. Okay, so now, is petrol and diesel real? Can cars run on water?
Can cars run on water?
Yeah, well, they're saying, we've seen a post recently about fossil fuels, that actually for years and years we could have been using water to run our cars, but a certain family, wealthy family, could see that there was a good way of making a lot of money by saying it was petrol or diesel, and that it's running out, or it could be running out, when actually it's very fluid. I mean, there's no way it's going to run out, but we've been led to believe that that's why it's gone up in such a ridiculous price. I don't know if it has for you in America, but here it's ridiculous. Like 1 litre is nearly £2 now.
Oh, yeah, it's gone up everywhere, even here in California. But yeah, you're right. An elite family, well, several elite families decided to strike gold when they, wanted to suppress the use of other ways that are healthier for the environment to power our cars. So yeah, I do believe that water could have been an alternative for running a car. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's, what is it in the petrol and diesel that makes it smell to make us believe that it is something other than water? That was what a question was put forward. But anyway, was unleaded paint and lead products banned because they are actually good for stopping EMFs affecting us in this inverted universe? So, they say it's not good to use lead-based paint for what it does to us. But actually, that could be the opposite. It was actually good for stopping the EMFs affecting us. Do you know anything about that? Do you believe that?
I think everything that we've used is affecting us. Not affecting us, but it was designed to kind of prevent our genetic mutation to take place. From the genetically modified foods to the shampoos and soaps that we use. So, including the carbonation that comes out of a car's gas when they burn petrochemicals. All that stuff is designed to poison us. It's all hazardous, and it's bad for the environment, and it's bad for our health. And the good news is that all that stuff is now coming to an end. With the defeat of the dark side, we're going to have alternative technologies that are going to be more suitable for the environment and our health.
Wonderful. How did the wealth and the wealthy families originate? Because no one would have got that wealth legitimately, would they?
No, not at all. Well, it's this. They created this fiat money currency, where they printed money out of nothing, and they gave it value with nothing to support it or back it up, and it was accepted by governments. After they, of course, infiltrated the governments and had their stooges voted into being legitimate, I guess, and that's how they were able to accumulate all this wealth. from the beginning. This corruption of fiat money goes all the way back to Babylon. It's the cabal's way of putting a planet in debt to themselves while they're living in luxury. But all that stuff is coming to an end. It's crashing as I speak. Any day now, we're going to hear that the entire fiat system will be crashed because there's nothing else to support it. The White Hats and the Alliance have already created a better system that's going to replace that. And that's called the quantum financial system, which is going to be backed up by gold and silver and real items.
Is that GESARA and NESARA?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be like, is that going to be equal wealth, more equal to everyone?
Yes. What they're doing is they're redistributing all the wealth that has been concentrated in the hands of the elite families for centuries, and they're going to give all that back to the people. So every single one of us is going to have, like, I don't know, I think it's $1.2 billion. Every single.
You can't even fathom that, can you? But I'd heard that it wasn't like each one of us was going to have that. It would only go to those that have got these humanitarian projects where we'll make sure that if you've got it, they'll know if it's right in your heart, if you've got the right heart for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? So it is that.
Yeah. The people with the biggest heart are going to be the wealthiest in this new world.
And it's not even for being wealth, it's for making sure everyone's looked after properly.
Looked after, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is a system that has worked across many, many galaxies for many, many worlds. It's a system that it's beyond money. It's a system where every citizen has everything in an abundance. And so therefore, that allows them to only focus on their own spiritual growth.
Wow. And do you have the consciousness where you can visit what you've just said about other galactic universes? Where you're saying it's worked in many for a long time. How do you know that?
Oh, it says I've been getting downloads for many years about how, stellar societies operate in galactic societies. And I've been doing a lot of research, and, the research does validate a lot of the downloads that I've been getting. But at times, I also am able to access records, galactic information, by tapping into, these galactic records that exist in like different depositories. One of the biggest storehouses of galactic information is Alcyon, the central sun of the Pleiades. Alcyon has acted as a galactic depository of knowledge and wealth of information for millions and millions of years.
I'm so grateful that you're speaking with me today. Thank you so much, Ismail. Okay, have we been on the side? No. Do you believe 6 billion? Oh no, we've had that then, really, because we've talked about how many billion souls and why they would not have ascended. So can we talk about royalty? Our royalty, if say anything happens to the Queen now, can you speak to that?
Yeah, the Queen of England?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not the real Queen. The real Queen has been taken out. Yeah, that's an imposter queen. She's a clone. Just like most politicians now. Those clones are going to soon to be eliminated, or they're just going to have to step down. But the Queen, the Pope, they're all stepping down.
So you're saying stepping down, but I mean, it's quite likely that our Queen will, even though I believe she's gone, yes, but a lot of people would not believe that. She's still got a huge, massive following of love for her. And when I speak to anyone, there's a lot of people that definitely would not believe what you've just said then. So what is a clone, and how long does a clone last, and how can that work?
Well, it all depends. If they were cloned by genetic duplication, they have a regular lifespan of an average person, 80 to 90 years. If there were a clone that was created in some sort of a liquid chamber, then they could add years to that clone. That clone could live up to 200 years or so, depending on how they program it, by giving it genetic extensions. But the clones are soulless. The clones are only operating for the dark side. Actually, they're working for the AI. That's why there's a lot of NPCs, player characters, or inorganic people that are actually androids. They're living among us, but they're cybernetic. They have no soul. A good portion of the population, about 35%, is now androids. So not all 7 billion people on the planet have souls. Only about 4.5 billion. The rest of them are clones or cyborgs. Or androids are.
And we wouldn't know that particularly. We wouldn't know that.
No, we wouldn't know that because they appear to have skin like us. They appear to be human-like. The only way to know, I guess, is by interacting with them. One of the indicators is that they have no emotion. They never portray any sign of feeling or anything. They're just there, soulless.
And how have they infiltrated us?
Through artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has actually been existing for over 100 years. The first AI was developed in 1913 by the Nazis. Yeah. And this is before Hitler came to power. They were already within the secret societies of the Vril and the Thule Society. They were already working with AI and cybernetic technology way before it became public. So some of the first androids that were developed were in the early 1900s. And how do they get the technology? Well, they've been interacting with this alien AI, this alien ancient AI that has been actually at the center of all evil in the multiverse. So
it's incredible, isn't it? So say our queen now, if they say she's gone, died, Charles would not become king, do you think?
Oh no, that dynasty, it's a reptilian lineage. It's coming to an end. The reptilian control of the planet ended last November when the old guard, they were operating under a doctrine called the Luciferian Babylonian doctrine. That Luciferian Babylonian doctrine no longer exists. It's the doctrine which they were abiding by. It's been taken out and it's been replaced by a covenant known as the Seal of Palador. So yeah, the Seal of Palador replaced the old guard, or the old Luciferian Babylonian covenant, back in November of 2021.
So can we talk about Diana? Do you believe she's alive?
Yes, she faked her death. She's a white hat as well. Yes, she's part of the Alliance. And she's also a starseed, by the way.
Without a doubt, I'm sure of that. Oh my gosh, she's so
coming
wonderful.
back. Yes, as soon as the cabal is exposed and brought to justice, Diana will be coming back. And she's actually the rightful heir to the throne of England, by the way.
Is she really? I've just goosed completely at that.
Yeah, because she's a direct descendant of Mary Magdalene and Jesus. So the direct descendants of Mary Magdalene and Jesus are the rightful heirs to the throne of this earth, not the imposters of the reptilian lineage.
Oh my gosh. So where's she been since she left, faked the death?
She's been in hiding, protected by the Earth Alliance, which is being helped in turn by the Galactic Federation. So the Earth Alliance consists of not only Earth members, but also of galactics that are actually leading the way in the liberation of our planet. So many galactic representatives are actually working within the Alliance already, and the White Hats as well.
And I've heard she's something to do with President Trump.
Yes, they're working together.
They are working together. And did the boys go with her?
The boys are actually her firstborn is still alive. Obviously, both of them are still alive, but he's still very programmed. He's not free from that programming. But the younger one broke away from the programming. Yes, the younger one, the one that moved.
Yes.
He broke away from the programming because he understood that he came from a very corrupt family, and that they were about to be taken down.
I mean, I actually heard he wasn't the actual one. The one that broke away, the actual one, had been changed at 8 years old, and he was killed probably 2 years ago. But I don't know if you've heard that.
No, I didn't. That's interesting news.
Well, I mean, whether that's true or not, you just don't know. But that is definitely what I'd heard. He was swapped at 8 years old for some reason, because of his father, whoever the father was. So then he wanted to get back in touch with his well, with Prince Charles. Anyway, because I'm not sure on that, I won't talk to it about that. But yeah, but you really think she will come back, and that's with probably with JFK as well.
Yes, Junior. Yes.
Junior, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. When Prince Philip died, that wasn't true either, was it? Like he'd already gone way before that.
Yes, that was his clone. Yeah, they've arrested him. Actually, the real one was arrested back in 2018. And then the Pope was taken out in 2000. The real Pope was taken out in 2019 at the end of 2000. No, I'm sorry, at the end of 2020. Sorry, at the end of 2020.
So why do they play along with the fact that they make out there's still a Pope and it's still, you know?
Well, that's just part of the of keeping the facade that they're still there, but the real them are not. So you know, the only agency that is promoting that is the media. And as you know, the media is a control instrument for the cabal.
Absolutely. But can you see that changing? Because I saw a program the other day. I don't watch a lot on TV, but my husband said this was a real, true story. So I did watch it, and it did show on the BBC as well about the amount of corruption in the police force.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're slowly bringing it into, because it will look dreadful on them when we find out all the lies they have told.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, can we also talk? I'm sure there's loads more I could ask about royalty, but anyway, that's fine. What could you see then once anything happens with the Queen? We're just going to have this new world order, am I saying that right? It's going to be the new world that we're creating. Yes,
it's going to be known as the Commonwealth of Nations. That's the alliance and white hat version of the NWO. It is a system where they decentralize power and give the power to everyone.
Oh my gosh, that's so right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with Sasha Stone last week, and he said that no building should be higher than a tree. In the natural world, you know, so just looking at the natural world, the fact that we have these massive, so places like New York and Dubai, and well, there's places in London as well. It's unnatural to have these places that are so, I don't know what the conversation was that he would say that, but anyway, I didn't know if you'd heard that as well. Obviously, that's not a rule or anything, but he just said in our natural living way, you know, we wouldn't have great high-rise flats, for instance, people living in massive high-rise flats. I took it to mean that that's what he was sort of getting at.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Attachments. Would you say everybody can be affected by attachments?
There has to be a balance. I think that as people become more aware or more awakened, they begin to withhold from their attachments, especially materialistic things, possessions, because as they become more aware of things, they become less materialistic, and therefore, you know, develop some sort of detachment towards things. So that
yes, I'm sorry, I was meaning like you get spiritual attachments, bad entities.
Spiritual attachments.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
People with a very low vibration are people that are attracting parasites and you know, demonic entities and stuff.
And people don't even realize you could get such a thing. So I went to a workshop a few years ago now, but as an experiment, the chap there, he was doing, it was like a fifth dimensional workshop, or he was talking about the fifth dimension, but he said how we can get affected by attachments. And he actually asked for a volunteer if they wanted to have an attachment put onto them, take it home for the night and come back the next day and see how it affected them. And it was horrendous. I mean, the poor chap that just agreed to do that, even though he was very spiritual and thought he could cope with it, he had a dreadful. And then we've had another, I've had another situation where someone thought they'd taken a Palladian home with them after a Palladian workshop because they didn't close it down properly afterwards. But actually, Palladians are really good, aren't they? Good energy.
Oh yeah, those are the angels of the Bible.
Absolutely. So yeah, she realized afterwards that it was really a good thing, but she actually felt this presence of a Palladian with her and was worried it might not be. But she's obviously found from that experience that they were very good and it was fine. But there is other, the one that took that thing home with him and then went back, it affected him for quite a while. And then someone watching something of mine the other day said that she felt I had an attachment with me. So, and I got smudged and all that, just in case that was the truth. But we don't realize how it can affect. So if someone's normal in usual way, normal, and then they start behaving quite peculiarly, that can be through an attachment, can it? A spiritual attachment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then there's also things called spiritual STDs that can be transmitted from person to person. So, it's important that we protect ourselves and shield ourselves energetically as well.
How do you do that? How do you do that? Or do you not need to?
Oh, well, yeah, I think everybody does, including myself, especially when you're, becoming, your information is circulating, a larger audience, you become a target to these dark entities.
Yes.
But the best way to do it is just ground yourself and protect yourself or visualize yourself in a white bubble that's impenetrable. And, as you do that, you will create some sort of an energetic shield as you go around. As you go through your daily activities, you'll be very well protected from spiritual STDs.
Oh, that's wonderful. I know you're in a bit of a hurry today, Ishmael, so we could leave it there, but would you come back and talk with me again in a few weeks?
Sure. Yeah, I could do that.
Oh, wonderful. Because what I'll do, obviously where we're on Zoom, I can't see any questions that are coming in or anything, and I know there'll be loads. So yeah, I'll take the questions from anyone and bring them along the next time, if that's all right with you.
Sure, that's fine.
It's been absolutely wonderful speaking to you. You are an absolute wealth of knowledge, and I'm so very grateful. I'm grateful that my friend Sharon found your email and that you would give me the time as well today. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, for those that haven't ordered my book, you have a copy? Oh, there it is. Thank you. It is, now that book right there is Next Level Disclosure. It is a book that will definitely trigger you into a multidimensional awareness of things. And if you haven't gotten it, it's definitely recommended to read, especially if you want to have a higher understanding of things. And I'm also teaching a Starseed Cosmology course online.
How do we join that?
I have a class in October. I'm booked all the way to October. So the next class is in October. And in this course, I talk about the different star races, galactic history in detail. I talk about the dimensions. I break them down. I talk about the different advanced space age societies and their differences. And then I also provide meditative tools and techniques that will allow people to have access to their galactic, origins and stuff as well.
Wonderful. How long does that go on for then? Is it a few weeks or?
If you sign up, it's a 3-week course, once a week for about 2 hours. But it is well worth it. It's very transformative. So
if you could email me the link for that, and then I'll put it under this video recording when I get that.
Sure, I could do that.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ishmael. Absolute delight and wonderful to speak with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you anyone that's watching.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.